Let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell, on this story. Andrew, Joel Fitzgibbon hasn't always been the easiest person to work with, it has to be said.
Well, yes, it's a big political story today, isn't it? The departure of high-profile Labor MP Joel Fitzgibbon from the seat of Hunter at the next election. And Labor looks to already have a candidate lined up as their favoured candidate. Olympic shooter, local and former miners' union delegate Daniel Repacholi. Repacholi has represented Australia at 5 Olympics, and Labor believe he has the goods to retain the seat, held by just 3%. Joel Fitzgibbon actually made the decision to leave Parliament after the 2019 election loss and did a deal to stay on the front bench for half the term before handing that position over to Ed Husic. The news of his retirement was broken last night in The Australian. Fitzgibbon telling Laura Jays that he felt he had contributed what he could in the past term to pressuring for Labor to be in the centre, and it was time for climate wars in politics to end.
I think the time is right. It's a good time for the party, and it's the right time for me. I effectively made this decision on election night 2019. When the defeat was so devastating, I could not see us winning again in 3 years' time. I do think the party had drifted too far to the left and took its focus off many who form our traditional base, but I think that lesson has been learned. Now, these climate wars have to end. The best way to get meaningful action on climate change is to build a consensus.
So Fitzgibbon leaves with a degree of sadness. 25 years he's spent in the Parliament for just 6 years in government. And the announcement of his departure comes after a week of angst within the party over the pre-selection of Christina Keneally in the seat of Fowler.